Thank you for staying with us, and apologies to Femi for that brief interruption. But you were saying something, Femi. Please go ahead.
All right. So as I was saying before the oppressors tried to take the audio, exactly, is that the demands of our struggle are actually very clear. It is for the fees to be reverted and not to be reduced. It is for education to be funded properly, even to the budgetary allocation percentage that has been recommended by UNESCO for developing countries. It is for the student union to be restored so that students can partake in, in the activities that determine their welfare. So what's happened at that meeting was, some kind of authoritarian setting wherein the management do not find a particular block comfortable to talk to, and they have to start shopping for people they can talk to. And in a democratic setting, what we believe is that any student leader who goes into any meeting without recourse to the students who are actually protesting is just going there for himself or herself. You must first of all have a congress with the students, understand what the issues are, go to the meeting, have that discussion, and then revert, to the students and then ask them, this is what the management has said. They've slashed it by 20,000 naira or 25,000, whatever that you can find on social media today. Are you okay with it? That is how student leaders behave. But those persons who were at that meeting just, agreed, and on the spot agreed to some kind of slashing. You see, we would not make the mistake our parents have been making, which is that when governments use one hand to take something from them, then gives them peanuts. The same thing has been happening to the oil subsidy removal. You removed fuel subsidy, and then at the end of the day, you are asking that you can share bags of rice across local governments. And we now found out that for one household, what they are entitled to is 2 cups of rice. No, we are not asking for palliatives. What we are saying is that government must fund education properly. And Nigeria is not a poor country to the extent that it cannot fund 1.7 million students. So those are the issues. So whatever held yesterday, which was without recourse to the students, is best described as a beer parlor talk.
Now, what's the next line of action, seeing how the students are still not satisfied with this decision? Especially now, it looks like they've even, been further disrespected. What are the students going to do about it?
Yes, we are discussing with the students, and we are also going to have a congress very soon, either virtually or physically, because the school is not in session. So we are looking for the best way to have that. We want to teach both the management and those who are trying to copy the management, who are definitely students, but they are trying to copy the mode for authoritarianism of the management. We're going to teach them how you operate in a democratic setting. So whatever has been proposed by the management, some 20,000 naira slash, 5,000 naira slash from somewhere, 3,000 naira slash from another place, all of these things will be placed before the students in a congress, and then the congress resolution, either to go with it or to, stay with the full demand, which is a total reversal to status quo, would be, discussed, and then would make this known to the public. So we are not fascists. We are not people who just say, oh, this is what we do. We'll discuss with the people. And that is what we are encouraging everybody in our society. That's tenet of democracy, which is participation. We all must, imbibe that character. And that is what the Student Solidarity Group Against VI, that is what we are about. That is what the Fund Education Coalition is about. It's about democratization of interests. And so whatever the management has proposed as their own slashing or the reduction, like they've put it, is just is their suggestion. We would go back to the students. The students will determine the next line of action in this struggle.
Now, if the cards are played right, okay, and things turn out well, especially for the students, do you see any possibility that the tuition fee will be reverted to what it used to be before, considering the challenges that are on ground in the country?
Yeah, when they say challenges, I think we should be very careful. The student did not cause the challenges. The student did not cause these economic realities we talk about. There are poor parents who did not cause it. Who caused these realities? Who caused these challenges? It's the government. So a management that claims, oh, our students are our priority, we respect our students, that management should be humble enough to come out to the student and say, government says they're not going to fund us anymore. What do we do? And then maybe we may all come to this understanding that both the student and the management should face the government, maybe in a press conference or whatever. So this economic reality discussion, it was not caused by the people who have been pauperized already. You've increased, the fuel price by removing petrol subsidy. You've increased the electricity tariff. Now you have removed subsidy from education again. So then at the end of the day, you're telling the students that, the economic realities are not favorable. It means that at every point in time that the economic reality is not favorable, you would continue adding to it. And we want to make people understand, this is not the final amount they are going to. This is not the final amount. There's a report as far back as 2013 that says that university students in this country should pay 525,000 naira. Federal schools. It's a Stephen Oronsai's report. We all can go and check it. There's a Wale Babalaki report of 2020 that also, suggested how they would raise this money and how students should always take loan. And that's why you can see this Student Loan Act and everything around. What we say is that if government has the money to fund a loan scheme, why not just give it to education, like fund education directly? It's just like me saying, I have money to give to you, but I have to give it to OP or PAMPI first, and then I will send you to go and meet PAMPI. It does not make sense. It's very logical. So these are the issues. Economic reality should be solved by the people who caused it in the first place, and you should not bring the responsibility. It should not be shouldered by the people who live in the poverty capital of the world, 133 million of them. No, that's now to. Even in the US also still gives subsidy to its citizens. That is where you call the bastion of capitalism. But they still give, subsidy in form of social security to their citizens, let alone a country where all free resources actually should be put into education so that we can have development in this society, so that we can have the human resource that would push us towards, massive industrialization and all of that. So these are the issues, and not one economic reality that would, and anything that goes up in Nigeria, we all know never comes down. And so if we allow this to stand, we are in for a very long, drawn battle. And that's why we say fees must fall.
All right, thank you so much for that, Femi. Now, I still have Femi in the studio, but right now we're ready to go over to meet Aisha Adebayo in University of Lagos, where she's currently there to tell us what the mood is like after the announcement that the prices have been slashed. Aisha, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Hi, Blessings. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Now, what is the mood over in UNILAG like currently?
Okay, so it's a calm atmosphere here in the University of Lagos, unlike 2 days ago when there was a protest and a kind of clash between security operatives and the students of the university. They were protesting about the hike in the obligatory fee. They said about last session they were paying about 20,000 naira, but this session that they were paying about 190,000 naira. So, they were asking for a reversal of that increment. That was from 2 days ago. And then on Thursday, the representatives of the Nigerian Association of the Student Union actually met with management of the school asking for a reversal. So I think there was an agreement. Now the fee has been reversed and then it's been slashed. A certain amount has been removed from, the initial increment. And then coming to school today, I see that everything is calm. The students are going about their business. There's no longer security operatives, around the school, unlike 2 days ago. And then I also spoke to some students that how are they feeling about this increment and also the reversal that the school announced earlier today. Some of the students are saying that even the reversal, the amount that they removed from the increment is, they said it's not enough, that it's still, a lot of money for them to pay. Meanwhile, on the part of the school management.
Do you have anyone who's willing to talk about this?
Yes, I have one of the students here with me. I have Damilola Daniels here with me. Hi, Damilola. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, so Damilola is a 400 level student of Mass Communication Department in the University of Lagos. Damilola, how are you feeling about this increment and also, the reduction that was announced earlier today?
Okay, so concerning the increments, it's still not affordable for the common man. Imagine someone earning 30,000 naira. How would the person be able to afford something of 190,000 naira? Look at the reduction. The reduction was just more like 20% or even less than 20%. So it's still not affordable for us.
So what are you asking the school management to do right now?
Okay, so what we are asking for is for the fee to fall. Let it be affordable for even the minimum earners, wages earners. Let them be able to send their children to school, because if we look at they're earning 30,000 naira, and out of 30,000 naira, what's left? If we look at this fuel subsidy, it has really affected a lot, and paying school fees that high is it's too much. It's too much, honestly.
Damilola, just to be clear, how much did you pay last session, and how much will you be paying when you resume in a few weeks now?
Okay, so I paid 16,500, and then the fee was increased to 190,250 naira. And so they said this morning they've reduced it, but we're still hoping for them to reduce it more.
Okay, Blessing. So that's what majority of the students I've spoken to today, that's what they are all saying. That's what they're telling me, that even the amount that the school, removed from the initial increment, that it's really small, that it's not enough. But on the part of the school management, they're saying that this new increment is, a reflection of the current economic situation in the country, that they're going to pay utility bills, they're going to, attend to a lot of things just so they'll be able to provide adequate and quality education for the students on campus.
Aisha, thank you so much for giving us that detailed report, and thanks to Damilola for also being willing to speak to us regarding the increment and the subsequent reduction. Really do appreciate your time. See you again later. Well, Femi, you heard that. I think you have spoken extensively on that before Damilola even said what she said, and she basically just echoed what you said. Yes. Now, what are your hopes? How do you expect that this will turn out? What do you hope that the students especially can achieve from this? All
right, let me thank New Central for already doing the Congress resolution. I mentioned earlier that we'll be meeting with students and all, but it's to just, allude to the fact that if we do the Congress, if we do the poll, this is exactly what this person has said, right, is exactly what the result would be. Okay. So moving forward is that we would continue our agitations, and we would make sure that we are armed with our facts and figures of why fees must fall and it must be reverted to status quo. We would continue our agitations, and we are going to do it more ferociously this time around.
Femi Adeyeye, Co-convener, Fund Education Coalition. Thank you so much for joining me on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.